Hello everyone and welcome back to Crypto Atlas. Unless you guys are new to the channel, then well, it is very nice to meet you guys. I hope everyone is having an absolutely amazing day and hopefully your portfolio is looking very nice. If you guys are shorting the market right now, you are crazy. You guys are straight up crazy gamblers. But anyways, so today's video, we're talking about Bitcoin, Orchid, as well as Ethereum. So I'm going to be showing you guys the charts as well as going over the news. If you guys do enjoy this content, please don't forget to hit that thumbs up like button. It really helps us out a lot. We're trying to get to at least 50 likes on this video. And also, if you want to be alerted when we have future videos, clicking that bell icon is a huge deal. So it's the best way. Otherwise, YouTube will not show you these videos. And I'm trying to keep you guys up to date and informed, and also to build a strong community space. So with that being said, don't forget to subscribe, and let's get right into the news. Sound good? First up, we're going to have all these articles talking about what's going on with Bitcoin. It says, hodl your horses. Bitcoin options data says 18,500 is not a local top. Well, that $18,500, we did have a big push up right there and it bounced right off, as we could see on the trading view. I got some other things going on, which I think you guys are going to find quite interesting. So, according to this, earlier today, Bitcoin price peaked at $18,476 after an impressive 35% bull run that appears to have started in early September. This powerful movement was followed by a correction to $17,000, a natural pullback. This adjustment led some investors to question whether the current formation resembles the $13,850 top formed in July 2019. If something similar happened this time around, investors would expect a $13,000 low for the current cycle. I'm curious to see what you guys think, if it's going to have a retracement all the way back down to $13,000, like how we had this big correction previously. The above chart shows the basis indicator quickly falling below 10% right after the $18,500 top formation. To further differentiate the current price action from July 2019, 2 weeks ahead of the price peak, the futures premium stood at 0%, a clear indication that investors were feeling bearish. Now, if you guys are new to this, just so you know, bullish means the price going up, bearish means the price going down. This time around, the lowest level over the past couple of weeks has been 7%. This means investors have kept positive expectations over the past couple of months, whereas in July 2019, the market faced an intense, quick, optimistic rush. So I personally, okay, this is just my opinion. By the way, I'm not a financial advisor. Everything I share with you guys, it's my own opinion, my perspective view, and hopefully you find this valuable and you want to come back and hang out with us more. But I highly encourage you guys to voice your own opinions in the comments down below too. But in my opinion, a retracement back down to $13,000, I only see that being plausible right now is if there is some major news to come into play. This bull run, we're seeing different circumstances. There's more adoption. You got more smart money in this case. You got more third-party vendors that are now accepting Bitcoin and working with it, applications that's making Bitcoin transactions faster, all that good stuff, right? So in my personal opinion, Bitcoin is #1 king of the cryptocurrencies. It's not going anywhere. A big correction down to $13,000. Is it possible? Yes. Is it likely to happen right now? I don't think so. I think the signs are much more indicating that we're so close to 20K that we're more likely to hit that 20K. I might see, in my opinion, correction taking place at 20K, where people that got in the last cycle have been just waiting for an opportunity to just break even and get out. Some people will do that. Not a lot of people actually bought in at the 20K mark to begin with, so the chances of that are kind of slim. As it went down, a lot of those people probably took losses anyways, so I wouldn't really be too worried about that. You do also have a majority of people that are now in the profit zone for what's been going on with Bitcoin. So some people might be like, hey, before it starts dropping and has that reflection of the previous bubble, before this bubble pops, I want to take my gains. A lot of smart people, in my opinion, again, are going to just hold on to this and just kind of ride out this wave. So if it has a 30% retracement off of 20K, yeah, it's going to hurt a bit, but guess what? We're already breaking a lot of records as it is, and Bitcoin is a store of value. In the long term, looks like it's going to be way higher, and there's plenty of resources there. I made a video talking about how one Bitcoin could realistically be at least $500,000. Realistically, I'm not even trying to like make it some super far stretched thing. I break down in the video. So if you guys want to check that out, I highly recommend that you guys do. And I have a lot of resources that help validate why $500,000 for one Bitcoin is very, very reasonable. It's not even crazy. It might sound crazy, but you know, let's be honest. $17,000 for one Bitcoin when it was less than a penny, that sounded absolutely absurd too. And where are we at right now? Billionaire Mike Novogratz says Bitcoin will hit $65,000 and tells Game of Thrones star Maisie Williams, I'm not sure how to say it, probably Maisie, to buy the world's most popular cryptocurrency. This guy looks so sweet. He's such a sweet looking man. Oh, isn't he? Novogratz responded by saying he expected the price to hit $20,000 before getting to $65,000 because of a network effect in which there are a ton of new buyers and low supply. So yes, buy it, he said. So she posted this. A lot of people voted. As you guys can see, a lot of people actually disagreed and said no, she should not long it. In fact, it was of the almost 900,000 respondents. Isn't that crazy? 900,000 people voted. 900,000 people. I mean, it's like as if she just ran her own personal election. So of that, about 53% said no to investing in Bitcoin. About 53%. Now, how many people, percentage-wise, in the world or the United States alone own Bitcoin? How many people are invested into it? How many people even really know what it is, right? A lot of people still think that it's a stock for some reason. And as for crypto skeptics, the hedge fund manager Ray Dalio acknowledged Tuesday that he might be missing something about Bitcoin and said he still saw reasons it wouldn't become an everyday currency. So this is kind of borderline. It's like, okay, you know, big dog right here, Ray Dalio, said he might be missing something. He still saw reasons it wouldn't become an everyday currency. Well, if he's missing something and somebody clarifies that thing that he's missing, like everyone else is seeing it now, he's probably going to become a believer. So it seems like he went from a skeptic to, or well, a non-believer to a skeptic to probably going to end up being a believer once it's been just clarified to him by the right people. Okay, and the next thing, did someone really just pay $82,000 for a single Bitcoin? Yeah, this is really bizarre. Okay, one Bitcoin, $17,706. Somebody paid $82,000. Why would you pay so much more for a Bitcoin when you could get it for cheaper with the current market price? And so this is what's being investigated right now. This took place over on Binance. Bitcoin broke past $20,000 and hit a whopping $82,000 and then quickly dropped back down again as if nothing happened. Intrigued, so were we. Hey, you know what's funny, by the way? I could technically go up to my roommate and be like, guess what? I didn't even think about this. I'm going to tell him about this after this video. Be like, you owe me a dinner. Bitcoin hit above $75,000. He'll be like, what? And I'll be like, yeah, take a look at this over on Binance. It peaked up to $82,000 and came right back down. You owe me dinner, technically. We made a bet. I said it would happen before May, which I mean, it's probably an error, which is what this is discussing, but I find it kind of funny, right? According to the BTC USD chart on Binance, an extremely long wick appeared at 1 a.m. Eastern time on November 17th. Bitcoin started its green candle at $16,626, lit a wick at exactly $82,000, and closed the 60-minute trip at $16,635. It's hard to know for sure, but considering the relatively low trading volume during the period of time compared to the absurd price spike of $82,000, and the fact that crypto Twitter didn't go bananas, everything seems to point to some kind of error. A human error by a trader would most likely have activated a row of market orders before touching the $82,000 price mark. It would have taken an enormous amount of money changing hands to organically reach that price, practically depleting the trading pair's liquidity. Similar weird blips have happened on Binance before. Okay, so that's a big key takeaway, is that this isn't the first time something like that happened. So it's very likely it was an error. I mean, to just massively spike up. And again, you would have, if it went naturally, a lot of things needing to take place for it to go through. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think that somebody legitimately bought $82,000 worth of a Bitcoin, of one Bitcoin? One. Just one. Or do you think that was a mistake? Mexico's second richest man invests 10% of his liquid portfolio in Bitcoin. Whoa, wait, what? What? Mexico's second richest person? The 166th wealthiest person in the world? He's not only involved in Bitcoin, but 10% of his liquid portfolio is in Bitcoin. Wow. The billionaire, not a millionaire, billionaire, Remember, we're talking smart money. Billionaire shared a video captured in a Latin country depicting banks throwing out garbage bags filled with paper money into a dumpster. He asserted that paper money is worth nothing, adding, "That is why it is always good to diversify our investment portfolio." That's crazy. Today, I recommend The Bitcoin Pattern. The book is the best and most important to understand Bitcoin. Bitcoin protects the citizen from government expropriation. Many people ask me if I have Bitcoins. Yes, I have 10% of my liquid portfolio invested. Crypto Twitter reacted gleefully to the news from the world's 166th wealthiest citizen is significantly invested in Bitcoin, with Kraken's Dan Held proclaiming the institutional herd is stampeding. The billionaire also noted that the remaining 90% of his liquid portfolio is invested in precious metal miners. Pelego was born in 1955. These are a couple key points, those last things that I've highlighted. Why? Because a very big investor. His name is Warren Buffett. Some of you guys probably have heard of him. Berkshire Hathaway, for example, which is like an extremely high price stock. Class A, Class B, I forgot which one it was. It was either Class A or Class B. Well, one of them is in the hundreds of thousands of dollars range. That's for a stock, for one stock. Not all of them. We're talking one stock is worth over $100,000. Bitcoin as a currency, as a digital store of value, decentralized in that regard as well, being validated by so many different things and having more and more applications growing. To say that that is worth less than a company stock, you guys let me know on that. But check this out. Warren Buffett is not a big supporter of Bitcoin. In fact, for much of his career, he has not been very much of an advocate in the technology space as it is. However, he's recently moved a lot of his money out of the bank systems and he's reallocated it into what? Into precious metal miners. So not into gold specifically, but the companies that are mining the gold, right? So this guy was born in 1955. Warren Buffett was born in 1930. Both are getting up there in age quite a bit. Obviously, Warren Buffett, a bit older. You're talking about a 25-year age gap right there. But someone of his age, of his status, the fact that he's a billionaire, the fact that there's this other guy that's also a billionaire, and they're both pretty old, and this guy is saying how much that he's invested in something like this, I would not be surprised if Warren Buffett catches wind of it. I don't know if he's going to pay much attention to it, but if Bitcoin continues to rally up a whole bunch, he might take more of a look into it to at least do something in his portfolio. I mean, if Warren Buffett doesn't even do 1% in his portfolio, which he could afford, by the way, let's be honest, he could afford 1%, and that's a lot of money. But if he alone was just like, you know what, fine, like, just to see what happens, let's do it. I don't understand it very well. I'm seeing everyone else around me is making more money. Something is working with this. Okay, I'll go ahead and do 1%. If he did that, it would be huge. And so many other people that have trust in Warren Buffett's perspective views, right? There's going to be a lot of people out there that are like, oh, Warren Buffett doesn't like Bitcoin? Okay, I'm not going to touch Bitcoin then. Even Bitcoin could be going up higher and higher and higher. They're going to think, oh, well, it's just going to crash. Warren Buffett didn't invest in it. It's just going to crash. It's going to go to zero because he said so, right? Except there's all these other experts. They don't care. They only listen to Warren Buffett. It's like their role model. They do everything he says kind of a thing, right? And then they expect that's the only key to success. Don't deviate from the plan kind of a thing, right? So really interesting in my opinion. Okay, now some really big news going on with Ethereum 2.0. Benefits will come faster than people expect, Vitalik says in AMA. So long story short, merge happens faster, proof of stake happens faster, you get your juicy 100,000 transactions per second faster, Buterin said on Wednesday as part of the foundation's 5th AMA on Ethereum 2.0. So December 1st was the projected time frame, right? And we got a couple more weeks to go there. But the fact that it might even come sooner, very interesting. And the proof of stake system also, by the way, is something that when I looked into the different consensus models of how cryptocurrency works, to have a value price that can exponentially rise for a cryptocurrency, a proof of stake system to me proves to be very, very efficient. And the reason being is that oftentimes when you stake it, there's a withdrawal time. So you can't take it out for a set period of time. And I've been seeing a standard norm across a variety of different cryptocurrencies of 3 months. So imagine you stake it in there and you do a substantial amount, right? And there's also typically resources. You could see how much is being staked and where, right? So it's part of the blockchain ecosystem for a lot of these things. So if you say, all right, there's this much that's been made, there's this much that's been staked. So that means that there's only actually this much that's in circulation. And it's going to take this long. I can identify, right? So you can start actually making better projections. And then these people that are staking, they get rewarded because they staked. That's the whole reason why they're staking it, is so they can get some extra rewards. And then when they decide to withdraw it, it doesn't just flood the market. So they can take their benefits because they're being patient and waiting a long time. And then once they decide to try and benefit off of the market itself, they got to approach it in a different system. So if all of a sudden the market is massively going up and they decide to take out their stuff, they can't just all of a sudden cash out all of their things, right? So yeah, it's nice to have the value continue to go up, but not have this massive price crash. So I really like the whole staking mechanism. Now let's go ahead and take a look at Bitcoin, guys, and we'll talk about Orchid and see what's going on with Ethereum. We'll actually talk about Ethereum before Orchid, but just one quick side note again, guys, if you are new to the channel, you do enjoy this content, please don't forget to subscribe. Please don't forget to turn the bell icon on so that you know when these new videos go up. I don't have them on a set schedule. I try to keep things kind of relatable to what other projects I've got going on, as well as what might be going on in the price fluctuation with the currencies themselves, if there's any new relevant news that seem to come up. So there's a lot of factors that come into play. But yeah, so if you guys can, don't forget to hit like. Trying to get at least 50 likes on this video. And with that, let's go further on. Didn't mean to do that. Right click here so we can get rid of that. Okay, so this is looking at on the daily. You can ignore this blue line that I've got in these purple ones for the moment, but there's a little red candle right here. Let's go ahead and zoom in on that bad boy. Okay, so on the daily, as you guys can see, we're having a little bit of a pullback. The previous day, this candle wick, 2 days ago, candle wick had pushed itself up, had a bit of a retracement. The next day we had this massive boosted gain all the way up here to $18,500, which we talked about, and then it just dropped, and it dropped fast. It dropped really fast, and I mean, we saw it push all the way down to almost right around $17,200 before it decided to start coming back up and then pulled itself back on the daily close with a positive at approximately 17,782. So on the new daily candle, you can see the progressive movement taking place on a downward trend. So having a bit of a pullback, again, is a natural part of actual growth. And then now if we take a look over here on the 4-hourly chart, which I haven't really been doing much on these previous videos. I've just been kind of covering the news articles and things, but I'm trying to appropriate my time a little bit or better, I guess, for you guys. And so you guys can see on the 4-hourly chart, we had this progressive movement up. On the bad side, it is forming the ascending wedge, broadening wedge pattern, which is a bearish type pattern. This is indicating a suggestion of a reversal and a continuation down for a potential drop. And if we saw a drop of this kind of magnitude as of the high right there down to that point, I'm going to go ahead and change this to a red, and we pull that, pull that right across there. If it were to break out on the 4-hourly, we could potentially see it dropping all the way back down into the $16,000 range. That would not be ideal by any standard, but it is something that is potential. Keep in mind that as the 4-hourly changes, that lower price point actually gets higher each time because you're working off the baseline of the level of support that's being formed. So at a price point at right around here at 8 UTC, that would be just under the level of top resistance that we've had on the daily side, as you guys can see right here. That would basically tap right off of that. So within that time range, something they would have a level of resistance, a level of support to actually bounce itself off of, that would make a little bit more sense. Now here's the next thing that I want to kind of talk about. Instead of us just having a further boom explosion up, which would be great if it wants to do that, I'm not going to complain, but I think that something that's going to be healthier in the short term is if we have some consolidation take place on the sideways movement. So what I mean by that is that on these 4 hourly charts, you can see that we got a little bit of sideways action taking place. It's tried bouncing down. If we just take those 3 candles, we say, you know, in that range, let's just go ahead and keep it going that way. Keeping it below that high position after another 4, 8, 12, 24 hours, so approximately 1 day from now, at that kind of a position, it would have a really nice progressive movement showing for a descending wedge pattern, which is a reversal pattern. That means it suggests that the price would actually then go on a breakout up. And similarly, right, as what we just did before, if we saw something like this, now this is going to be on the green, and I'm actually excited to see where this goes too. But let's just say it decided to go to that price point and decided to want to break out. That would push it up to where? $18,800, $18,800. If we go back even further here on the daily, let's just see if there's anything comparable. I have not even looked at this myself yet. But if we did the $18,800 level, and that would put it at right about here, just within that range. So there'd be nothing of significance really showing a further level of resistance for it to go up to the 20K. So I think having a candlestick that's even larger would only make sense unless people are scared of it trying to get to 20K and that people are going to bail out just beforehand. So it's like, oh, you're almost there. And it's like, wait, what? They pulled the rug out from us. What a plot twist, right? So that's going to be very interesting, guys. That sideways action, if it takes place, I think that's a little bit more of a healthy position. So kind of keep your eyes peeled for that kind of a movement sideways. The high volatility that's taking place, though, the chances of us having a further correction down, and if it does go into this consolidated space, you should expect to see this RSI starting to flatline out a little bit as well, which is what we've also seen comparatively here in the past. The RSI has gone up a bit and then fallen flat throughout this consolidated phase before their further continuation up. So having some time for things to kind of fall into place a little bit. Some people are taking their profits, other people are coming in, that back and forth, and then boom, as soon as it has that big push, the news is going to be talking more about it too, right? So if it goes above the yearly high, which we just had here, the $18,500, breaks above that, next thing you got, what? 19,000, 19,500, 20K. What's after 20K? Your imagination. It's amazing. Ethereum has this ascending wedge pattern. Not a great sign. Again, it's showing suggestion of a reversal. However, the Bitcoin has been showing great movement forward. Ethereum 2.0, the whole AMA was really good article discussion with that, and it sounds very positive. You got Ethereum 2.0 coming up the next couple weeks. If somebody was to do massive sell-off right now of their Ethereum, it'd be very shocking because all the signs are largely indicating that the network and everything else is going to be much stronger. The staking system, like I talked about, is going to help reduce the circulating supply. So it's kind of weird if somebody would come in and start selling massive amounts. I think now is that time frame where people are willing to wait a couple weeks at the very least and hold on to what they got. And if they're not willing to sell it and people want to buy it, it's going to be hard for them to buy it from the other people, right? That's why you got to pay that higher price. So this is actually looking still pretty good in my opinion. It's still above the 21 EMA. It's got to hold above this level of support here at approximately $457. It needs to try and break here sometime soon, right around the $500 range. Psychologically too, an Ethereum that's above $500 is going to help instill a lot more confidence in people's minds of further continuation on with Ethereum. And also keep in mind that because a lot of these other cryptocurrencies are built off of the Ethereum blockchain, the validity behind those will also get strengthened because of Ethereum's positive movement up. Now taking a look over at Orchid, okay? So we had a really nice candle the previous day. Absolutely amazing, huge price up. You can see as of the daily so far, guess what? We're already seeing further drop down, and you know, I hate looking at it, but there's pump and dump, dump and pump, pump and dump right there. It's dump, and then shortly thereafter, guess what? Another correction up for basically the same exact thing. It's over and over and over again. And so it's got to get some more faith and confidence from more people inside the market space for it to really establish itself well. So the fact that it's above the 21 EMA is great, but I have said this time and time over again, guys, over and over again. Orchid needs 3 days. Instead of 2 days, which is the bare minimum, for it to really establish itself and for me to say a lot more that I'm now bullish on this, it needs to be 3 days above the 21 EMA. Right now, we have 1 day that's closed above this big candle. We're now on the second day, which is already in the short time frame that it's been on here showing not good signs. It's showing further drop down quite considerably. It looks like it's about a fifth or so of this entire green candle from the baseline to the top. And so if it has all the way dropped down, it's going to go below the 21 EMA again. So as long as it can stay above 0.2323 for the daily close, and the following day can stay also above that new 21 EMA position, okay, then I'm starting to feel more bullish. If it's resting right above, I would be cautiously bullish, but I would still be bullish. Right now, again, I hate to say it, I'm still bearish. This massive candlestick up is exciting, but it doesn't mean anything when you're having such massive sell-off taking place like previous days. So I'm a hodler with this. I believe in the project. I think it's got a huge future. In the middle of December, there's going to be a whole bunch of tokens that are going to be released, which is now going to add to the circulating supply. When you increase supply, demand doesn't increase, guys. What does that mean? Price is suggested to go down. If demand continues to go up, then we're talking about something more positive, right? But where it is right now, it's actually just breaching into the levels of this consolidated space that I had formed up here previously. So if it wants to try and maintain itself within that zone, we might even see it go back up into retesting these previous highs, right? So it could go up to the 0.3231, and that would put it above 30 cents. Another psychological element there. Now you're a third of the way back to its all-time high, which occurred earlier this year at $1. So it bounced right off of that $1 and came down. And yeah, guys, needs to go back up to test on the Fibonacci retracement here, 0.236 at the 0.2639 cent level. So guys, that's going to go ahead and do it for this episode. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Do you feel that this is the start of a rally and this is just a little bit of a correction that's taking place before Orchid has an actual further movement up? We've seen a lot of consolidated movement here, but progressively since that $1 high, we've seen a further drop. And again, there's been a lot going in the circulating supply. So what are your guys' thoughts on Bitcoin? Do you want to see a consolidated space go sideways and then a more natural growth? Do you think it's going to drop soon? Do you think it's going to have a massive explosion? Ethereum 2.0, do you think it's going to happen sooner? Or do you think it's still going to be on schedule for December 1st? Or some other curveball coming in? And all the other projects such as Orchid, do you think they're going to follow suit with Ethereum and they're going to see massive gains just because of the fact that they're built off of Ethereum? Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Once again, don't forget to hit that thumbs up like button if you enjoyed this video. 50 likes at least is what we're trying to get. If we could do even more, it'd be amazing. But yeah, guys, I appreciate all of you being here. Thank you guys so much. Feel free to subscribe, bell notification, comments, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.